We are in pre-summer at this moment, and we need to switch up the makeup to have something a little bit fresh, a little something lighter for the extreme heat there we are about to experience. I'm in southern Arizona, so it is already getting to the 100 degrees. Yes, not looking forward to it, but that doesn't mean our makeup can't look nice. So this is this month's series of My Shop, My Stash. We are going to be switching out the stuff that I used in May, giving you some reviews on it, and then we're going to be picking out some summer-friendly June products. So if that's something you want to watch, then stick around. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Catherine. I'm a beauty and reselling enthusiast, and those are the things that I absolutely love to talk about on this channel. So if that's something you like to watch or listen to, consider subscribing before you leave. Today's video, a monthly series I do every month. Every month. Basically, I go through all of my products that I used for the month. I give mini reviews of everything. I tell you what I like, what I don't like, and we kind of rotate through for the next month. You know, we go based off of the weather, we go based off of preferences and stuff like that. So I always start with my skincare, so let's not waste any time. So the first product is the Pacifica Barrier Care Gel Hydro Dew Slime Vegan Mucin and Ectin. I don't know if we can tell in this lighting, but I probably have like a third of this left. So I'm thinking that I will finish it up by the end of this month. I think I've used this in my past 3 Shop My Stashes, so that kind of gives you a good indication of how long it takes to use up skincare. I use this day and night, 1 pump for morning, 1 pump at night, and then I usually top it with one of these other things. I actually have really been enjoying this. I think it's a nice product. It sinks into the skin relatively quickly. It does kind of have like a gel type of texture to it. I do notice some hydration, but not like greasiness from it because it does soak into the skin so nicely. There is like a slight fruity smell, I guess, to it. It doesn't bother me, but if you are sensitive to smells, then I want to let you know that. So all of these products will be continuing into the next month. So there's really there's no update on that except how much I've used of it. The next product is the Versed Dew Point Moisturizing Gel Cream. This one I use in the morning, kind of put like a little pea-sized dollop onto my skin after I use the Pacifica one. And this has no smell to it. It also sinks into the skin relatively quickly, has a gel-like texture to it. No tint or anything. This does have like the tint reminds me of the bottle, but this is like a clear gel. This is really nice too. It isn't greasy, but also moisturizing at the same time. And somebody with combo oily skin, that's really nice. So you're still getting hydration, you're still getting moisturizing, but it's not overly greasy because your own greases are going to be coming through. So I also probably have a third of this left. So this will probably be finished by the end of this month as well. 2 products that will take me forever to finish. One of them being the Guerlain Abiel Royale. This is the Youth Watery Oil Serum. This is definitely something that I just use at night because it is kind of greasy. It is kind of oily. So I let it kind of sink in at night. I got this in an influencer. It's just kind of like a fun bottle, very bougie bottle, all glass. Even the pipette inside of it is glass. I received this to review on Influencer. I think it's a nice product. Would I spend $150 for it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It is a nice product. My skin does feel kind of like plump afterwards. It's supposed to have like all these like, I don't know, bee properties part of it. And I haven't noticed anything significant at this point, but I think it does a nice job. Since I have it, I'm going to use it, because when in your lifetime are you going to get bougie makeup like that to use? The other product, I should say, I forgot to mention this last time. This does have a very florally, kind of like department store floral scent to it. It does dissipate, but it's very, very scented. The next product is the Pharmacy Honey Milk Hydrating Essence with Chamomile and Ceramides. This is also something that I use at night because if I were to use it before makeup, I don't think it would sink into the skin soon enough for me to then apply makeup. We're in a rush in the morning. We have like minutes to get ready. So I need my skincare to soak in so I can put makeup on top of it. That's why these two work out really well for me. But this one is really nice again to put on at night. So I kind of like interchange these two. I start with this both morning and night, and then I'll top these two at night, you know, one or the other, definitely not both. But this has a nice kind of, does it have a smell to it? Kind of, nothing in particular though. So these two products are going to be powerhouses because there's so much in them. So we're going to be seeing them around for a while. Now, the one product that I put in my last Shop My Stash, but then I completely forgot to use it. This is the One Size Oil Sucker Extreme Mattifying Alkaline Primer. I have used this a few times. And I've only used it a few times again because we just talked about how I don't really have time in the morning to fuss around with products. And this one is something you kind of have to fuss around a little bit. I noticed that because it says to put it on dry skin, and I'm still like, okay, does that mean like right after you wash your face, do you put this on before you put on any moisturizer, or do you put this on after you put moisturizer? I don't really know the steps of it. So I have tried it just my normal way where I'll put these two on in the morning. I'll let those kind of sink in a little bit longer, and then I will put this on. I caution you, only put this on areas that you are oily. And I say that is because around my smile lines, I do have some dermatitis, and at those points when it's kind of flared up, it can be a little bit dry. I accidentally put this in that area, and it really emphasized the dry patches. So just be careful. You put this on, it almost, I mean, this like literally mattifies your skin like immediately. Almost looks like a powdery type of substance on there. Like I definitely noticed that it's a little bit white when it goes on, like not anything that is significant, but like it almost looks like a white powder on your skin. So just use this with caution. I'm still trying to figure out the best way that I like it. Do I feel like it truly helped mattify, like keep things mattified when I wore it? And jury's still out. It definitely mattifies your skin, but does it help the other products mattify? We're still figuring that out. So we're gonna keep playing with it and figuring it out and see where we go from here. One product that I know I'll definitely finish up this month as well. This is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Peptides and Niacinamide Lock It In Setting Spray. This is a nice setting spray to just kind of like meld things together. As far as longevity, I do think it helps some. I don't think it's going to help. I don't think it helps all day. Like I definitely notice that I get a little bit greasy at the end of the day. This doesn't say it's going to mattify. It just says it's going to make your makeup last. I think it helps, but I think there are other better ones out there as well, which I actually just picked up. I made an Ulta order and I picked up the Milani Make It Last spray, which I've used a few times in the past, and I do remember, I think I liked it, so I picked it up again. But all these products are going to be going back into the rotation for June. Now let's go over all my makeup products.
Like clockwork, I always forget one product to include, and this month I forgot to include the Nasaif MD Detox Pads. I'll flash them on the screen so you know what they look like. Basically, they're these like little pre-soaked detox pads that are really nice to exfoliate. I typically use them sometimes before bed, sometimes in the morning. It just depends. They do kind of have like a slight little tingly feeling to them. I do like them. I'm about halfway through the tub of them, and they will continue to be used in June as well.
Hopefully this isn't too loud, but we're gonna get out all my complexion products that I used for this month, and we'll chat about them. So the first one is the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Gel Tint. I did get mine in the shade 3. I actually really did like this. This one was super nice. It is a lightweight. It's maybe a little bit buildable, but it's not anything that you're gonna get tons of coverage out of. You do get some coverage, but not tons of coverage. And the color for me works really, really well. It does kind of give you this fresh, radiant type of look that me personally, I do need to powder this down or it will be kind of a greasy mess by the end of the day. So, you know, if you are oily combo, we're gonna need powder with this. But I really did like the finish of this and I thought the color match was great. And it is a really nice foundation for hotter days, hotter days to come. So if I wasn't rotating my products, I'd probably continue to use this because it was really great. Another one that I still really like is the Fenty Beauty. This is the Eavesdrop Blur and Smooth Tint Stick. I do have mine in the shade 2. The only issue I have about this is the shade match. I think it's a little bit dark for me, but I think 1 would be a little bit too light for me. So we kind of make it work and blend it in with some other stuff. But this is it's kind of crumbly. I don't know why it's crumbling a little bit because it's a very emollient type of product. But I am, without hopefully falling everywhere, I'm almost out of this. It is a pretty emollient product, like I said, so it smooths out very nicely on the skin. It kind of just gives like a very thin layer, but also has some like coverage to it. Now I just have it all over my fingers. It does have some nice coverage to it. I just think the shades are not perfect for me, but I can make it work. So this most likely, if I had a guess, I just finished my Beauty Empties challenge and I finished up some products. So I'll leave that for you if you're curious to know what products I finished up. And I did not rotate a new foundation in, but when I finished one of the other foundations, this might be a good contender to it because it's almost finished. And that's the whole point of that challenge, is to finish everything up. So that one might rotate in there. Just a quick little preview. This one, the Huda Beauty Easy Blur Natural Airbrush Foundation. I do have mine in the shade Vanilla or 120B. I just can't get this to work. I will tell you, I only used it like once on its own on a work day. And let me tell you, I've never really redone my makeup on a work day because we're moving quickly. I took the time to redo it because this was not working for me. It just seemed kind of thick, which again, that could be my fault. I might have put too much on, but it just seemed kind of thick. It clung to dry patches, which it did before. Like that's what I remember this doing, is clinging to dry patches beforehand. And I just didn't like it. Also, the color is shockingly a little too light for me. So not my favorite. This one I can see as kind of a color correcting foundation in my collection as of this point. I might declutter this at the end of the year if I can't seem to figure out how to use it or how I like it. But as of right now, I think I'm going to use it to like mix in with other foundations that might need a little bit of help matching to my color. Like the other ones might be a little bit too dark, so I add this one in to make it a little bit lighter. But on its own, I don't really like it. I don't like it. You let me know. Did you try this one? This one seemed pretty popular and a lot of people liked it. I don't like it. So we're gonna put that there. I was testing out 2 new concealers this month. The first one being the IT Cosmetics Do It All Radiant Concealer. I have mine in the shade Ferris Cool or 115. I really did like this. I know some people said they didn't like the applicator of it. It did take a while for it to like screw all the way up top and like for product to actually come out. But once you get that going, it's fine. And the sponge tip, I actually really didn't mind. I thought it did a really nice, precise job of putting product where it needs to go. It is a little bit more of a serum-y type of concealer, meaning that it's really great for like dry under eyes. For me, how would I consider my under eyes? I would say like they're kind of like a normal, not too dry, not too oily or anything. If anything, they might lean on the dry side, but I still notice that I need to powder this down just a little bit. My under eyes have tons of like fine lines underneath it. I also kind of almost like have a, as I look at myself in the mirror, I almost like have a hood. I have a hooded eyelids, but I almost have like a hood under eye, just if that makes sense. So any concealer that I'm going to use like is going to collect in that area, but because of where it sits, like you don't really notice that crease anyways. It's just like a natural crease. So in regards to other creases, I didn't really notice it going anywhere, but I also powder it. So I don't know, jury's out on that. I liked it. It works for me. I will continue to use it. The other concealer that was new to me that was in my Sephora haul, I can link that video for you if you want to see the other products, is the Glossier, I think it's called the Stretch Concealer. I'm not seeing the actual name on it. I think it's the Stretch Concealer, but this is in the shade Very Light 2. So it is a potted concealer. I will say this one would work well for somebody who has very dry under eyes. This one is kind of moisturizing, a little bit serum-like, something that can be built up. The color actually does work relatively well for me, I should say, with my concealers. I liked a slight brightening moment. Not anything like too jarring, but just slightly lighter than my foundations. And both of these seem to work for me. This one, I did notice that I did need a powder a little bit more than this one because it's just a little bit more emollient, if you will, but not terrible. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't the best. I think I'm still trying to figure out how to use it. How do we want to do this? Do we want to put things away as we're talking about it? Maybe not, because I'll have to change the camera angle and we're not about that. Okay, so that is the complexion products. Now let's pull out all of, oh, I always forget to talk about this during this time. Let's talk about powders real quick. I should talk about them during complexion, right? So the two powders that I was using was the RMS Beauty Hydra Setting Powder in Light. I just have a really hard time finding a powder that I absolutely love. Like, this is a decent powder. It's nice. It's not super drying. It does a nice job kind of like blurring and things like that, but it's not going to mattify you. It's just going to kind of give that blurring effect. Maybe some slight hydration in areas that you might need it. It's a fine powder. The other powder I was using is the Laura Geller Baked Balance and Brighten Color Correcting Foundation in Porcelain. So technically this is a foundation, but I like to use it as an under eye powder. As we can see, it's kind of this like baked little number. What I noticed when I've used it with a brush, I've used it with a powder puff, every time it kind of turns out like a pink powder. Now, maybe if I wasn't using it so concentrated underneath the eyes, it wouldn't have such like a pink effect, but because that's where I used it was underneath the eyes, I did notice it had a very pinky type of look, somewhat brightening, but also a little bit contrasty to like the other products I was using. Like, you know, I'd have this underneath my eyes and then I'd have like bronzer, and you could almost see like a clear difference between the bronzer and then the powder. I've had this for quite some time. It's okay. I do notice that, and it could have just been like the concealers that I was using this with. This kind of made a little bit of a crumbly mess at times underneath my eyes. It kind of made them look a little bit dry. So because of that, maybe I might decolor this at the end. Maybe I still need to kind of figure out how I'm using it best, but take that as you will. All right, so now moving on to some cheek products. Let's start with bronzers. So the first one I was using was the Rare Beauty bronzer, stick bronzer in Bright Side. And I didn't use this as much because I will be honest, I put a lot of focus into my iconic London liquid bronzer that's in my Beauty Empties challenge because I really wanted to finish that up. So I didn't focus as much on this, but I did use this a few times. It's a really great formula. I just think the shade is not quite right for me. I do wish it was a little bit cooler. So I have fair with neutral cooling undertones, and this, it's a bronzer. It's supposed to be a little bit warm, but this kind of leans a little bit yellow on me. And I can definitely make it work. I know that they have other shades, but I want to say this one that I have in Bright Side was like the coolest neutral leaning shade. So I don't know. The formula is really great. I just don't think the color is super great. I do remember having another one in Happy something that also, like, between the two of them, this one worked color wise for me. So I just don't know if the shade's gonna be right, but again, maybe because I'm just now starting to like get out in the sun a little bit, get a little bit more color, maybe this will work for me in the like later summer months. But as I'm still very pale and fair, this one is just a little too yellow for me. On the opposite side, though, is one that I absolutely love because it is kind of cool neutral leaning, is the Flower Beauty Heatwave Luminous Bronzer in the shade Sunrise L1, which rumors in the quarter, I don't know how true this is, but like I think Flower Beauties might no longer be like making beauty products or anything like that. So if you had your eye on this one, you may consider picking it up before it is no longer available. But this one is super nice because it is neutral cool leaning undertone. It adds just like a little bit of luminosity to the skin, while also being kind of like a powder bronzer. So really, 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 really beautiful. Love this one. This is probably one of my favorite like drugstore bronzers, maybe even like one of my favorite bronzers I have in my collection. It's so nice. Before we talk about blush, because we have lots of blush to go through, for highlighter, I was using the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Glow Glide Face Architect Highlighter in Moonlight Glow. This is just a really nice kind of champagne-y highlighter with really fun kind of star embossings on it. It's a great product. You can build it up. You can make it more natural depending on how much product you use and how you apply it. You know, if you're going to use more of a denser brush, it's going to apply more densely. If you use more of like a powdery brush or like fluffy brush, it will diffuse it. Really nice. All right. This was like my favorite month of blushes. I was so excited to put blush on, which, I love nude blushes. I did a whole video of nude blushes I can link for you that I swatch them all out. I go through my whole collection of nude blushes and there's a lot. So I was so excited to wear blush every single day. Let's start with, okay, I'm gonna pick favorites. This one probably came up as the last one out of these four. This is still really, really, really great. I still really love it. But out of these four, the only reason I'm kind of putting this at the bottom of the category is because the longevity of it wasn't there for me. But this is the ColourPop Weightless Liquid Weightless Liquid Blush. I almost said blow. I don't know why. In the shade City Walk. So this is like a shade expansion of their other liquid blushes with a little bit of a pearlescent addition to it. And beautiful, beautiful, beautiful color, except the longevity just wasn't there for me. So that's why it's coming in at the bottom. The next one, what am I gonna... Oh, it's so hard. I know what number one is, but okay. So the next one probably will be the Patrick Ta Double Take Cream and Powder Blush in She's Seductive. So this is one that has two of them. We have the powder, we have the cream. Why I say this one is probably number three is because, again, love, love, love the color of it, but it didn't have any shimmer in it. Like, and I've noticed that I'm definitely more of kind of this like shimmer type of blush type of gal. So although this was matte, I kind of mixed in one of the shimmer blushes as well to kind of give that effect. The color was really beautiful, but it just didn't have that like shimmer that I was looking for, or kind of luminosity that I was looking for. So then we get into number two, and that's going to be the Gucci Blush de Beauté in Rose Beige. And this one has some luminosity to it. The color is absolutely beautiful. I typically would wear this, and I kind of just did a combination of all of them, to be honest, because they were all beautiful. But this one was really nice. And then my number one blush out of all of these for this month, definitely hands down, was the Milani Cheek Kiss Liquid Blush and Glow in the shade Cafe or 150. hands down the one that I use the most. I didn't think I'd like the sponge tip, which to be fair, I don't really like the sponge tip, but this is where we're at. And this color, oh, this color was beautiful. It does not help to have oily combo skin. I will tell you, this does get a little extra glowy at the end of the day, but there would be times that I'd catch myself in the mirror and I would just like stare at my cheeks because they were just so beautiful. So that tells you something. And this is such a inexpensive blush compared to these two. I mean, I think this one is probably the least expensive than this one, than this one. But oh, I was obsessed. And I don't say that, like, I don't ever say that, but I was obsessed with this. So yes, love it. Almost kind of sad that I'm going to be rotating it out. Like that's how much I loved it. All right. And then the last step of my process is my eye region. So in regards to eyebrows, I was using the Airbrow by Kosas and then the Maybelline Super Fluff Brow Mousse. I hands down, the Airbrow is still my absolute favorite. I have mine in the shade medium brown. I think I'm starting to come around to the shade a little bit. I keep saying how it's a little bit red for me, but compared to something extra dark, because this one is definitely a lot darker in deep brown, I think I like the look of this better. Like this just makes too strong of a brow, like too stark difference of a brow, which I mean, if you like that, then I think that would work for you. My hair is naturally, well, is paid to be a dark, like kind of dark chocolate brown. And so you would think that this one would work really well, but for some reason, just that it's such a stark contrast to my skin tone, which can be beautiful at days, but for the everyday, I like this one a little bit better. And I like the consistency and the texture and the hold and how this performs better. This one kind of just is a little bit dry, a little bit flaky, and for some reason, like really sticks to your skin compared to the actual fibers of your eyebrows. So for that reason, I'm going to declutter this one. I'm kind of done with this. I haven't technically finished it, but I'm not going to use it anymore. So we're going to get rid of this. And then sad, but I'm almost out of this one, but I did just pick up another one. I talked about my Ulta order. Another item that I picked up was the Morphe. There's like a Morphe one. So I'm in the constant search of trying to find a replacement for the Airbrow because this one is kind of expensive. Like it's not terrible, but if I could find something that's half the price, I would like it because I go through this product a lot. So we're decluttering this. We're keeping this one in, and we might add in that new one halfway through the month, so I'll let you know. As far as mascara, I've been using the Makeup by Mario Master Mascara. I love the look that this gives. So I love the wand of it. I love the look that it provides. It's a nice volumizing mascara. That's what I prefer. It does add a little bit of length, but it definitely focuses more on the volume of things. But I don't think I can recommend this because more than half the time it's either flaking or smudging or I'm getting panda eyes or anything like that. And to be honest, that is just not worth the look of the eyelashes. Like I can get that look with another product that doesn't do the flaking or the smudging or the panda eyes. So I don't think I can recommend this. I am going to keep using it because I guess I'm a glutton for punishment, but I paid for it. So I'm going to use it all the way up. But I really wish I had hoped this was going to be a good one, but I don't think I can recommend this. All right. As far as eyeshadows, this is no different. I keep saying this over and over and over again. Not that I don't love eyeshadows. I do love eyeshadows. I love the idea of eyeshadows, but the application of it, I just like have been kind of more focused on the face and like cheek products than I have eyeshadow, which I feel like is kind of like a trend at this point. Like isn't even like not even doing eyes trending at this moment. I could definitely get behind that. But the ones that I was using was the Natasha Denona Mini Eye Sculpt Palette. I did not do a swatching video. A lot of times I do like swatching videos of eyeshadows because I just like to know what the texture is like. I didn't do this one because it wasn't new, so there was tons of swatching videos out there already, but I feel like the formula is a little bit different in this one, and not in the best way possible. I had a really hard time like picking up some of these shades. So definitely the shade that I gravitated towards the most was this light shade. I mean, can you see like some dippage in it? So definitely did that one. Kind of dabbled in the others. I use these two a lot for like eyeliner, like powder eyeliner. I just didn't feel like the quality was the same. You let me know. Did you try this out? And like, cause I have tons of Natasha Denona palettes, and maybe it's just because I didn't swatch it. Like I couldn't really, I don't know. You let me know. They are like a mixture of her silky mattes. I think that's what the SKM, and then her cream to matte formula. They just seemed a little bit difficult to pick up. I don't know, just something to note. Another one that I used was the Urban Decay Moon Dust in Space Cowboy. This is a really pretty like wet effect type of product. It's not super glittery or shimmery or anything, just kind of adds like a wet effect. The one thing that I would say about this, which I wish was a little bit different, and maybe it exists and I just don't know, is although the base of this is relatively transparent, there is kind of like a warm beigey base to it. So it can make your eyes lean a little bit on the warm side when at times I want it to be more on the neutral cool side. So I don't know if they have one of these that fits that bill. You let me know down below, but this is still a really nice one. It is kind of like a dry formula. Like it's definitely not a shimmer type of formula or like a putty type of formula at all. No, you definitely got to get in there to get some product. And I recommend your finger with that, not a brush, to get more of like a impactful look compared to like a diffused look. Unless you're going for a diffused look, then use a brush. But then the other bigger palettes I was using was the Alice in Wonderland by Sigma, and get this open. Really beautiful palette. I do like how it's kind of a mixture of warm and cool tones. I did stick more on the warm tone area, mostly using like 10-6. And then like the shimmers, Mr. Walrus Tea Party, I used Curiouser as like eyeshadow base. I did dabble a little bit over here in Alice and White Rabbit 1-for-1 look that I was going out. And it was very nice, but I can tell you I did not stick to the cooler side of things, but still a fun palette nonetheless. All right. And then we use this big Mama Jamma. This is the Lunar Beauty Moonshroom palette. First off, packaging, 20 out of 10. Super great. Love it. So we open it up. I'm trying not to blind myself. And this is what it looks like. So a lot of more like, it's a mixture of warm tones, mostly with some cool tones in there, more on the bottom of like the cool tones. I wanted to use it more, but again, with darker colors, it just needs more babysitting at the beginning for me, like a lot more buffing, a lot more smoking out and stuff like that. So I didn't get to it as much as I wanted to. But one look that I did really love is I used Fuzzy Foot all over the lid, and then I diffused it out a little bit with this chocolate truffle. And then which one did I put on top? A Spore. Oh, so pretty. And then I think I put Puffball in the inner corner, and then did I have a liner at that moment? I can't remember, but it was a really pretty look. This is a gorgeous palette, and I really wish I would give myself more time in the morning to do looks, but I don't. So, and that's probably never going to change. All right, so now we just did all of the reviews of everything. So let's put everything back, and then we're going to pick out what we're going to use for June. Don't mind my little sack of potato dress. This is the dress that I got in my FabFitFun. Was it Soul Lozenges? Or I forget what it is, but it literally looks like a moo dress. And you know what? I love it. It attracts hair because it's kind of like that gauzy cotton material. So I have cat hair all over me. But I have dubbed this dress my post shower dress, but before like pajamas or before getting dressed in something else. So that's the purpose it serves. Did I know that I needed that in my life? I didn't until I did, and I love it. So pardon my dress. All right, but let's start putting some of our eyeshadow away, which is at the very, very bottom. And then in regards to eyeshadows, like what I want to do this month, I always like to pick like a neutral palette that just seems to work best for me. I kind of been thinking if I wanted to do an eyeshadow stick, but I think I got rid of all of my eyeshadow sticks, so that won't work. But what about maybe like a ColourPop Super Shock or something? That could be pretty. All right, we'll pick out a few of those, and then I think we're gonna pick out That's Taupe. That's one of my favorite palettes. Let's put these away first. I don't think that's going to fit how I want it to fit, but that's okay. Do my palettes. I don't know if you can see from down here, but I kind of put them by brands most of the time. So here's like my Cosmic Beauty or Cosmic brushes. Here's all my Natasha Denonas. We've got some Odin's Eye. We have all my like Sigma melt palettes, stuff like that right here. Let's see. That could be pretty. The Muse palette. Let's do that one. We haven't done that one in a while. Should I get one more? I have the Muse palette, a few ColourPop ones. I have the That's Taupe palette. Do we feel like that's enough? That might be enough for somebody who doesn't use eyeshadow that often anymore. That probably is enough. Yeah, we'll call it enough. All right, we'll do a quick view before I put these inside my little everyday drawer. The top drawer is my everyday drawer, so it's easy to like grab everything. So the Cosmic Brushes Beauty palette, that's what that looks like. I feel like that's like a nice like muted type of summer look. That could be fun, right? Then we have the That's Taupe palette, classic ColourPop palette. Love, love, love this palette so much. And then we have a few ColourPop Super Shocks. One of them is in Ritz. This one actually, I think, is a dupe of the Moon Dust one that I just put back. So we'll be double dosing ourselves. And then this one is Rooftop Cocktails, which is kind of like a blue-green shift to it. So I think those would be fun. Okay, what is next? Our next row is concealers and foundations. So if you can see here, this first row right here, we have concealers, we have foundations. How I like to separate them is the ones that are up front are ones that I have not used for my Shop My Stashes this year, and the ones in the back are the ones that I have used. So it kind of helps me decide what products to pick from. So these are the concealers we'll put back there because we used them, and here are the foundations. Okay, so we're talking about summertime, right? So we want something a little bit more lightweight and, you know, not like super heavy or anything. So what are we gonna go with? You know what? I haven't used this one in a while. I really like this one. This is the Tarte Face Tape Foundation. I have mine in the shade Fair Light Neutral. So we'll use that one. And then, excuse me, what else? Maybe let's let's throw in the Dior Backstage 05N. I think they might have not discontinued, but maybe like reformulated. I can't quite remember, but I think this is pre-reformulation. So we'll use those two, and then maybe, I haven't used this one in a while. This is the Lancome, excuse me, Lancome Tintido Ultra Wear Care and Glow. I have mine in the shade 110C. I think those are some good picks. Now let's go with concealer. As far as concealer, let's try I haven't used this one in a while, but I do remember really liking it. The Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer. I have mine in the shade N1, and if I remember correctly, this is kind of more of a foundation shade for me than it is a concealer shade. But I would like to use this up before I purchase like a different shade, because I remember really liking this formula. So that will be our foundation and concealer. So let's put those up. Okay, now let's pick out powder and a highlighter. So where are my powders? My powders are gonna go back here. And my highlighter is gonna go right here. As far as highlighters, I think I wanna use the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Highlighter. This one's in the Champagne Glow. I think that one will be really nice. And then in regards to powders, again, I usually use one for my whole face, and then I use one for my under eyes, because I feel like my textures are a little bit different, but I don't feel like I have any for under eyes that I haven't already used this year. So let's pick one for face. Let's do this one. The One Size Ultimate Setting Powder in translucent. This one should be a little bit more on the mattifying side, so we'll do that one. But in regards to my under eyes, I think I'm gonna bring back this Fenty one. This is the Pro Filter Mini Instant Retouch Setting Powder in Lavender. And I say I'm bringing this back because it does a nice brightening, it brightens underneath the under eyes. I think I am preferring a loose powder for my under eyes instead, so it's not so cakey. And I've had this forever, so we need to make some more dentage in it. So let's put my powders back and my highlighters. Now here's the fun part, the bronzers and the blushes. So in one of my recent beauty chores videos, I'll link that playlist for you. It's really fun. Like if you like organization and kind of decluttering and cleaning together, it's all beauty focused. So I'll link that playlist for you. I recently kind of had to move around some of my blushes and my bronzers because my blushes have just exploded as of lately. So this is my bronzer blush drawer, and these are the blushes that are kind of like the indie brands, drugstore brands, stuff like that. And then all of my bronzers are right here. So let's put my bronzers away, put those in the back, and then figure out what bronzers we want to use. So let's see. I do like to always kind of pick out a liquid bronzer, which I only have two left. And I think between the two, I have Makeup by Mario, which I absolutely love. This one is so natural, but because we are kind of getting into the summertime, I think this Say one is going to work better for me. This is in the shade Salt. So we'll pick that one as a liquid bronzer. And then hopefully we'll finish the iconic one from our Beauty Empties challenge. And then what do I want to use for powder? Let's see. We have the House Labs one, Power Sculpt Velvet Bronzer in Light Level 1. I know I really like that one. What about this Gucci one, I did a terrible job in picking shades, but this is the Eclat Soleil in 2. I definitely should have gotten the fair one because I think this one is too dark for me, but it might work. Or maybe should I save that one for July because I'll be a little bit darker then. So we'll save Gucci for July. What's another one that I want to use? Maybe the RMS one because it has like a nice shimmer to it. Yeah, this one might be nice. This is the RMS Beauty Redimensioned Hydra Bronzer in Beach Walk Betty. Really love their blush formula in that, and I'm still waiting to try their highlighter in that formula. All right, we can put some of our drugstore blushes back here, but let's pick a few blushes from this batch of stuff. So I recently just picked these 2 up from M Cosmetics. They're Heaven's Glow Radiant Veil blushes. I saw something on Instagram. They were doing like a BOGO for their blushes, and I'd never tried them, and I'd always been curious about it. So I picked them up, buy one, get one half off. And I got the shade Baroque and Venetian Rose. And you know what? I haven't even swatched these yet. So let's see what these look like, because I definitely want to use one of them, and I have a feeling I know which one I want to use. But let's see. So this is the one that I want to use. This is in the shade Baroque, if I can get it in the viewfinder. This is the shade Baroque. Again, kind of this very nudie bronzer blush. Oh, yes. Definitely gonna be putting that one in for sure. So we're gonna put that one in, and then let's see what this one looks like. So definitely more of a mauve shimmer. Ooh, that one's really pretty too. But I think I'm gonna go with the Baroque one. So we'll put this back in its packaging because that indicates to me that I haven't used it yet. I just got those blush swatches on my dress. Lovely. Okay, so we got that blush, the M Cosmetics one, so we'll use that one. I've been wanting to use this one too. This is the Morphe Cheek Thrills Multi-Finish Face Trio. I did swatch it in that Nude Obsessed video, but I haven't used it yet, and shocking, it's a nude blush with 3 different formulas. We have a cream, then we have like a super shimmery one, and then we have a powder one. So those 2. All right, we'll call it even on those blushes, and then we will, oh, that sound is always nasty. All right, so this is more of my high-end blushes. So we have like my high-end cream blushes, and then we have, to be honest, I forget how I sorted this. It has some sort of sorting, and I just forget. All right, but let's put these back. So we'll put Gucci back. We'll put Patrick Ta back. One that I am gonna pick out is the Fenty Suede Powder Blush in Baby Cakes. Now this I was very excited for, and it's really no different than any of the other blushes, but I haven't used it yet, so we're gonna put it there. And I probably should pick one that's like a little bit on the like pinky side, because that's a lot of nude blushes. Do I want She Goes to the Gym? Do I want, ooh, I haven't done the Merit one yet. Merit Flush Balm in Bespoke. That's still brownie, but we're gonna put that one in there. And then you know what, I'm still gonna put this one in here because we're just gonna be very, oh, don't mind the shaking. We're just gonna be very, very blush heavy. So this is gonna be the Patrick Ta, literally the same formula as the one that I just am replacing, but it's a little bit different color. This one's more of a like pinky mauve color. So I think that will add some nice contrast to stuff. So let's see if we can fit all this in here. All All right, hopefully this is not sturdy whatsoever, but we're holding things down so things don't fall over. But here's everything I'm going to be using this month. We have my complexion products, so all of my foundations and my concealer that I'm going to be using. Then we have all of my face products right here, bronzers, blushes, highlighters. We have my powders, and then in the back we have my eyeshadow palettes, and then over here in this little accessory drawer we have my eyebrow and mascara. So I'm super excited. Like, I hope it's another month of just beautiful blushes. To be honest, that's what I'm hoping for. I think all these products will work really well for like summertime too. You know, it's gonna get hotter. It's gonna get hotter. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. Which products have you used before? Do you love these? Do you hate these? Let me know everything. I love to hear from you. Make sure you like this video, comment, subscribe, do all the wonderful YouTube things. And with that, I'll see you in my next one. Bye.